Hello students, I welcome you all to this session. I am Vishali Kikan and today in this session we will be talking about the electric field intensity due to the line charge distribution. We have already seen that if I have a line charge distribution, how I can find out the electric field. But at that time where I took the point on the axis of this line charge only. Now where is my point? My point is in the front of the line charge density. So here in this video we will be talking about a generalized case, and now I can put my point P here or here or here or here or here or here. Like I can rotate my point P anywhere surrounding this line charge and I can find out the electric field intensity at the point P. Okay, due to this continuous charge distribution. So first of all, let's take the charge on this line charge distribution is Q. The overall charge is Q, the length is L. Okay, so what is my lambda? Okay, lambda is the line charge density, which is equal to dq upon dl. Okay, so I have already talked about lambda in one of the previous video. Now in the previous video I talked about the electric field intensity at the point P. So there I told you one trick that we can find out the electric field intensity due to the point charge and then we can integrate it, okay, for the entire length, and then we can find out the total electric field. So here I have taken the small element again. Here the small charge is dq, the small element length is dl. This element is very small and I have taken this element to be equal to a point charge. Now if this is my point charge which is having the distance x from the point P and it is making an angle theta, okay, with the point P axis, here it is the angle theta and this distance is x. I know the point P is placed the distance from the line. So here this distance is d, and okay, one more thing I know. What I know? That this is the point 1, this is the point 2. Okay, we need to know what are the point 1 and point 2. Okay, so always and always mention what is my point 1 and what is my point 2. Now from this axis I will be finding out the angle. This is my angle, so this is my theta 1. Okay, so from this point P axis I will be finding out the angle which is made by point 1 on this point P. So here this is theta 1. Similarly here I will be moving and here I will be seeing this is my angle theta 2. So here I can represent it as minus of theta 2. Okay, so now I hope you understood how I will be finding out the angles. Okay, so now here this is my line charge, this is my point charge. Now I can find out the small electric field due to this point charge. Okay, so the small charge is dq, the distance is x, so I can easily find out dE. dE is k dq upon x square. Now lambda is dq upon dl. So from here I can find out what is my dq. dq is lambda into dl. So here I will be putting. So instead of dq, what I did, I just put the value of dq in the terms of lambda, which is lambda dl. Okay, so now I know what is my dE. Okay, so now you should tell me one thing, what will be the direction of this dE? Okay, so here the direction of this dE will be along this line x. So here if I extend this line x, so this is my dE. Okay, so now here you can see this angle is theta and this angle is opposite to theta angle. So the opposite angles are equal and this angle will be theta. So this component will be equal to dE cos theta. Similarly, this component I will be terming as the perpendicular component or dE sin theta. Okay, so this is how I can find out both of the components. Now what I have to do? I have to check the symmetricity here. Okay, so here if I look at this figure, so you can see what is the value of tan theta here. Okay, so let's suppose this distance is any distance, let's suppose it is L. I have taken the distance of this small element from the axis to be small l, and now what will be tan of theta in this triangle? So again I will be making the triangle. This is my point P, this is my point, let's suppose I am taking this point to be Q, and this is my point, let's suppose it is O. Okay, and this angle is theta. Now what is this distance? It is D. This distance is X and this distance is L. Now from the figure you can tell me this angle is 90 degree. Now from the figure you can tell me what is tan theta. Tan theta will be equal to L upon D. Similarly I can find out what is secant theta. Secant theta will be equal to X upon D. Okay, so don't get confused in the basic trigonometry. Okay, that is very essential. So here I have found out tan theta, I have found out secant theta. Okay, so now here I need DL. Okay, so from here I can find out L. L will be equal to D tan theta. And I can differentiate this and I can find out DL. Differentiation of tan theta is secant square theta, D is constant. So here D tan theta will be having the differentiation D secant square theta, and I will be having D theta over here. So this is my DL. This is how I will be replacing my DL. Now the second term that I am having is X. Okay, so here from here I can find out what is my X. X is D secant theta. So let's put both of the values here. Okay, so what I did, I put the value of DL. What was the value of DL? It was D secant square theta D theta. So here I will be having K lambda. Instead of DL, I will be putting D secant square theta D theta. Now here at the denominator I had X square. So what is X? X is D secant theta. What will be X square? X square will be D square secant square theta. So at the denominator I will be having D square secant square theta. Okay, so I can neglect a lot of things. So here secant square and secant square will be cancelling out, D and 1D will be cancelling out. So from here I can find out my DE. So D is K lambda D theta upon D. So now I have found out my DE. Now I have to find out the parallel component and the perpendicular component, and I will be integrating them. So here if I have to find out the parallel component, so let's suppose this is my parallel component. So I am terming it as E parallel. So it will be equal to integration of DE cos theta. And what are the integration limit? We are integrating over theta. So you can see that theta here is minus theta 2 to theta 1. So this is my integration limit. So here I know what is my DE. I can directly put the value of DE. DE was here. It is K lambda D theta upon D. Okay, so K lambda D theta upon D cos theta. Now don't cancel out this D theta and D, both are different. D is the distance over here. Okay, so here what is constant? K is constant. What is K? For the vacuum, K is 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught. K is constant. We know 4 pi and epsilon naught, all of them are constant. I can pull out K from this integration. What is lambda? Lambda is line charge density. I have already told you we have uniform line charge density. So lambda is also constant. D is the distance of point P from this line. Okay, so what will be D? D will also be constant. This point P is fixed. It is not changing. Okay, so I can write down it as K lambda upon D. I have pulled out all of them. Now the integration limits are from minus theta 2 to theta 1, and here I am integrating cos theta d theta. Okay, after pulling out K lambda, and here I have integration from minus theta 2 to theta 1 and integration of cos theta d theta. Now I know the integration of cos theta. Integration of cos theta is directly equal to sin theta. So the integration limits are from minus theta 2 to theta 1. So let's put the integration limit. Okay, so I know sine of minus theta is minus of sine theta. So here I will be getting 2 negative, which will be turning out to be positive. So I can easily find out E parallel, which is K lambda upon D sine theta 2 plus sine theta 1. So this is my E parallel. Okay, so this is how I can find out my E parallel. In the same manner, I will be finding out the E perpendicular. So here I had the second component E perpendicular, which is DE sine theta. Okay, so now if I put E perpendicular, it will be equal to the integration. Again the limits are same, minus theta 2 to theta 1, and we have DE sine theta. So if I integrate it, I will be getting the perpendicular component of electric field due to all of the point charges along this line. Okay, so this is how I can find out this. Again I will be putting the value of D, which is K lambda upon D d theta. Okay, so here I have the integration of sine theta. Because K lambda upon D are constant, I will be pulling them out. I can represent it as K lambda upon D integration from minus theta 2 to theta 1 sine theta d theta. Now I know the integration of sine theta, which is cos minus of cos theta. What are the limits? Minus theta 2 to theta 1. Okay, so just put the values. Okay, so here I have cos of minus theta 2. What is cos of minus theta 2? Cos of minus theta is again cos of theta. So I can represent it as K lambda upon D cos of theta 2 minus cos of theta 1. So this is how I can find out the E parallel and the E perpendicular. Of course, don't forget the units. So here if I have to find out the total effective field, so the total effective field will be the vector summation of E parallel and E perpendicular. So how I can represent it? So it will be represented as under root E perpendicular square plus E parallel square. So this is the vector addition formula. So here what is E perpendicular? I will be writing down. What is E parallel? I will be writing down, and I will be finding out the resultant electric field. So this is the formula to find out the resultant electric field. Now if my point is at any other location, let's suppose my point is at the center point, okay, then I have theta 1 equal to theta 2. Okay, then I will be just putting theta 1 equal to theta 2 here, and I will be observing what is my output electric field. First I will be finding out E parallel, then E perpendicular, and then I will be finding out the electric field. So now what I have to do, I have to put P point at any place. I have to check out the angle theta 1 and the angle theta 2, and in the case of theta 1 and theta 2 I will be finding out the particular electric field for that particular point. So this is how we can find out the electric field at any point. So I hope you will be meeting me in the next session where I will be finding out the electric field for some of the cases. I will be discussing about a lot of cases where my line charge can be of any type. It is a finite type of line charge. We will be talking about the infinite line charges as well. And also I will be talking about this point P to be placed anywhere. Okay, so I hope you will be meeting me in that session. That is going to be a really interesting one. So I hope you like this session. If you like it, you can share it with your friends, you can subscribe the channel, and you can push the like button. And if you have any kind of query, you can put the query in the comment section, or you can reach out to me. Thank you so much.